Welcome students, welcome to the class of Pharmaceutical Jurisprudence. In today's lecture we are going to discuss pharmaceutical ethics. We are going to discuss pharmaceutical ethics in three areas today, that is in relation with the medical practitioner, in relation with his trade and in relation with his profession. So first we will discuss pharmacist in relation with his trade. So what are pharmaceutical ethics to be followed by a pharmacist in relation to his trade? So in four broad categories we will discuss this: price structure, fair trade practice, hawking of drugs, and advertisement and display. So first we will discuss price structure. So pharmacists should always give a fair price for their medicine they are going to sell to the customer. They should not take advantage or more price of that particular medicine. So this is first pharmaceutical ethics he must follow. Second, including charges of for compounding and dispensing. Earlier there were pharmacies where the drugs were compounded and dispensed. So at that time some charges were applied over the medicines for compounding and dispensing. So that charges were included. For that this clause is included. Right now in drugstores there are no such charges of compounding and dispensing. So it is just inclusion regarding the pharmacies. Third is no undue taxes to purchasers. That pharmacists should not take any undue taxes which are not existing taxes from the purchaser while selling medicine. So these are the three ethics which should be followed by a pharmacist when he is doing his trade or business regarding price structure. Second is fair trade practice. How he can do his business very fairly. So first, should not attempt to capture business of fellow pharmacists by unhealthy or cutthroat competitions like reduced price or gifts, prizes, etc. It tells that to increase the business, sometimes some pharmacists or some professionals to increase business enter in some unhealthy or cutthroat competitions, that they give medicines, sell medicine at reduced prices or discounts or give gifts to the customer. So this kind of practice is not allowed in the profession of pharmacy, because it will affect the status of pharmacy profession. So it should not be done by any pharmacist while following the pharmaceutical ethics. Second, should not copy trademark symbols, signs of other pharmacies. Suppose any pharmacist is utilizing any trademark or symbols or signs, they may be registered, may not be registered, and they have developed their business. So any pharmacy should not copy that trademark or symbol to increase their business. It is a bad practice, or it is non-professional practice, or it is not ethical practice. Lastly, drugs always purchased from reputable source. Means when you are selling in retail level, you have to purchase drug from wholesaler, or wholesaler has to purchase from a particular manufacturer, so that the wholesaler or the manufacturer must be a reputable. No doubt reputable means he must have got license to sell under Drug and Cosmetic Act, then that's a source will be a reputable source. This is a condition for fair trade practice to the pharmacist. Third is hawking of drugs. Hawking literally means selling of something on streets. So hawking of drugs is not allowed. So the selling of drugs or medicine on streets is not allowed, because it will affect the status of profession of the pharmacy. Also avoid to collect door to door order. So it is also not allowed in pharmaceutical ethics that you should collect the orders of medicine from door to door. Whenever the customer will come to your store, then only you have to give that medicine while looking at that prescription. Second is self-service should be avoided in drugstore, as it encourages self-medication, which is dangerous. Nowadays there are various malls in which self-service is allowed for other commodities. Like other commodities, the self-service should not be allowed for the drugs or medicines, because what will happen if the self-service will be given, that will encourage the self-medication. The customers will take, or patients will take medicine with their own wish, and which is very dangerous for their health as well as for the society. So this practice is not allowed, self-service. And last thing in this relation with his trade, that advertisement and display. it says that there should not be any display or advertisement on premises, means on that shop or the place of business where they are doing business, or in newspaper or elsewhere about services provided. So whatever they are services provided, they cannot make any display or advertisement of that services. There are stringent provisions from displaying even names of that premises. If you want to write name and explanation about your premises, then very stringent provisions are made that what should be written on that board, that must be followed. Other than that, you can't make display of anything else. Then second point is, should not make advertisement which contains, means even if you make advertisement, it should not contain, it is strictly prohibited that it should not contain. What it should not contain? These following ingredients or things. First thing is misleading or exaggerated statement or claims. Now misleading statement or exaggerated statement in related to medicine. If particular medicine is you are claiming that this medicine is used for this purpose, but which is not actually for that purpose, then it is misleading. Or you are exaggerating, means you are making it more advantageous. You are telling customer that they are having this advantage, but it is not that much advantageous. You are exaggerating, making more advantageous about the statements of or claims of that medicine or therapy. Then that kind of advertisement will not be allowed. Second, you should not give guarantee of therapeutic efficacy in advertisement. You should not, any therapeutic efficacy you should not give guarantee, because it depends upon it is the liability of the manufacturer and the prescriber. The guarantee of therapeutic efficacy is not role of pharmacist, it is role of physician and the manufacturer. So it should not be displayed on the advertisement. Second, an offer to refund money paid. This kind of practice is also not allowed in a trade of pharmacy or business of pharmacy, that if you purchase some amount of medicine, then this much amount of money will be refunded, like discount procedures that are not allowed in profession of pharmacy or trade of pharmacy. Then an appeal to fear, means you are making some advertisement in which the public or society is getting fear regarding any disease. Such kind of advertisement is not allowed, because with that fear they will purchase the medicines and that will be growth in business. That kind of advertisement will not be allowed. And last one, the word cure for any ailment or symptom of ill health should not be displayed in the advertisement. So you should not claim that the cure word in your advertisement, because it is not our responsibility to cure, it is a medical practitioner's responsibility to cure. We are just dispensing medicines against the prescription, it is our role. Right. So these are the roles, or these are the professional ethics or pharmaceutical ethics which are to be followed by pharmacist in relation to his trade. Now we'll discuss the pharmacist in relation to medical practitioner. When pharmacist come across with a medical practitioner, what kind of ethics he should follow? First, at any circumstances should not practice medicine. Should not practice medicines means should not diagnose or prescribe medicines. Only at emergency can provide first aid services, like accidents or any emergency service, only provide first aid services. Should not diagnose or prescribe. Second, should not recommend any particular medical practitioner unless specially asked. So you should not recommend any particular doctor. It is not our duty, or it is not fit in the ethics of pharmacy. Unless specially asked. If customer asks you specially, then you can suggest that particular medical practitioner. Third, should never enter in any secret agreement with medical profession, including physician, dentist, veterinary surgeons, to offer them commissions or gifts recommending his dispensary. Means there should not be any agreement between you and medical practitioner that will based on some malpractice of commission or gifts, and that will increase the business of pharmacy. It is a malpractice, or it is not a professional ethic. It should not be followed. Fourth one, the pharmacist is link between medical profession and public, so should be constant touch with modern development in pharmaceutical field. So he should get current knowledge of pharmaceutical field, and what should he do with that knowledge? He should advise physician on these pharmaceutical matters, not in diagnosis or other matters, only in pharmaceutical matter. He can advise physician, and also he can educate public to maintain their health by constant touch with this modern development in pharmaceutical field. And fifth one, should neither discuss physician's prescription with customer nor disclose the composition of the prescription. Means whatever is there in physician's prescription, or the prescription is coming to his shop, he should not discuss that prescription with that customer, and also should not disclose what composition is there in that prescription, what is in that prescription. Now in third, we are going to discuss pharmacist in relation to his profession, in which first is should observe the law and ethics to maintain standards of the profession. Means the pharmacist is obliged or should follow the law, and not only law but also ethics of the profession, so that the standard of the profession remains. Second, should extend help and cooperation to his fellow pharmacists. Whatever other pharmacists there in profession, the pharmacist should try to help them or cooperate with them, so that the profession grows. Third, should try to remove undesirable, corrupt and dishonest conduct of member of profession and maintain its status in society. Suppose any of your colleague is doing any malpractice, undesirable or corrupt practice, you should convince that member or person that should not involve in such corrupt activities or dishonest activities, so that we can maintain or increase the status or standard of our profession in the society. Fourth, it should have fair knowledge of laws of state and nation about food, drug, pharmacy education, health, etc. Means whatever the laws, current laws, or the new laws which are coming in your state as well as your nation, whole India, you should be aware about that. At least fair knowledge of it should be with you, and the laws which are related with the food, drug or pharmacy education or health, all these laws we should at least have a fair knowledge. Next, fifth is should have up-to-date knowledge of profession and should associate it with various pharmaceutical organization. You should have up-to-date knowledge of profession, that is requirement of your profession, and you should associate with various pharmaceutical organization whose objectives are compatible with code of ethics. So you can join some of the organizations, pharmaceutical organization like Indian Pharmaceutical Association. If you are a retailer, you can join Chemist and Druggist Association. These are some so many organizations are there, but the organizations which are having or compatible with the code of ethics, which follow the professional ethics of pharmacy, in that organization you should associate and increase or make such activities that it will increase the standard of profession of pharmacy. And lastly, you should not perform such act which bring discredit to the profession or himself. So you should not involve in any act which will make disrespect of the profession or which will make disrespect of yourself in the society. So you should maintain the standard of yourself as well as profession in the society. So these are the professional ethics the pharmacist should follow in all three areas, like in relation to his trade, in relation with medical practitioner, and in relation to his profession. In next lecture, we're going to start our next chapter, that is the Pharmacy Act 1948. Thank you.